Holy cow, it's still hungry. It feels like there's a demon child. Guys can also get UTIs. Did you know that? It could be because of you being there emotionally for your partner. A lot of the cheating stories I've heard. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday. We are at a different screen than we're used to. We're at the snack time screen right now because 2 minutes into recording, I looked over at my volume mixer and I realized for some reason the software did not read the microphone again. So I had to unplug it, replug it, and I'm glad I caught that before we had to do another voiceover. But we don't really have anything interesting that showed up in this sleep session. We do have I uncovered a new sleep style for this Charmeleon and this Cramorant. For a second, I thought this Cramorant was shiny because the first time I encountered it was as the shiny version, right? So that's just like the default in my head. And as for the Suicune, we called upon it with an incense and there was no new sleep style to uncover for it, which kind of sucks on top of none of them being hungry. But who should I give my bonus biscuit to? I feel like what I should do is I should give it the Suicune biscuits. If I use all three and then it's still hungry, I could use the premium biscuit, right? So let's see. Alright, I'm usually pretty unlucky and it gets full after the second biscuit. I thought it was gonna big hit for some reason. There's like that 1 second before it does that thing. Okay, let's see. Biscuit number 3. Another 6 points. Oh my gosh, it's still... Dang it. I do not have enough for another cookie. I can use my Ultra Biscuit. Is it worth using an Ultra Biscuit? I don't know, or do I want to play it lucky and see if that premium biscuit hits big? You know what, let's just use the Ultra Biscuit. Because otherwise I'm going to end up hoarding it, and these cookies are meant to be used. Holy cow, it's still hungry. Okay. Let's do the bonus biscuit. Oh my gosh, it's still hungry. I don't have a great biscuit or anything. Should I exchange for one? If I use my sleep points, I can't even use my sleep points because it's premium exchange. Or do I wanna... Maybe I'll use another Ultra Biscuit, because there's like, wait, there's 4 bars left. The Ultra Biscuit will give 5. I think I'll do it. Just watch later in the comments. People are like, no, why did you do that? Okay. It seems like we caught it. Wow, holy cow. I've never had a legendary Pokemon show up who was like ravenous, hungry, starving. Alright, so we caught that, which is nice. It used up a lot of resources, but hopefully it's good. The moment of truth. Let's see whether or not all that was worth it. So we'll leave it as this photo. We got 86 mean from that, which is really nice. Alright, let us see. It's a lot of EXP. Whoa, 16k dream shards. A naughty nature. Don't remember what naughty is. Alright, so it is double oils. And inventory up M and L, helping speed S and M, and then skill trigger M, speed of help up Main skill chance down. Oh, that is very painful. That is quite sad. And now I feel bitter because I used so many resources on that. Holy cow. But you know what? Things like that will happen. What can you do, right? So let's pick up our sleep points. Good thing we had a lot of diamonds too. And let's pick up our daily gift, which is a handy candy. Accidentally minimized my app. There's this goddamn annoying car outside that keeps revving its engine, and I swear to God, I hate when cars do that. It is like the middle of the day. Why are you revving your engine? No one's impressed. And it's like such an ear sore, you know? Like, go to the racetrack or something. Anyways, let's go to the research community. And as usual, the matcha of the day. I used up the remaining of my oat milk, and it was like the perfect amount for this cup of matcha. So let's cheers and take a drink. Delicious. Delicious. All right, now let's see. We got 22 Suicune main. Really nice. Thank you for everyone here. All right, I keep forgetting that I have an extra slot in my friends list, and I think there's like maybe 2 people I could remove, so that means 3 slots available, but we'll see. Now yesterday I had a very good day, although, you know, like when you're starting your period, you get like crampy and irritated and tired. Like, usually my symptoms vary, and if you are a guy and you have women in your life that have periods, be nice to them, be tender, because those moments are like, man, I hate having a period, and to think that I'm gonna have them for like a good chunk of my life. Can you imagine? Like, imagine having, well, I don't use pads anymore, but I used to only use pads, but imagine having something damp down there collecting your secretion, your blood, and it's just like damp, you know? And it's all day, and you gotta change it, and the only relief is when you put on that new pad, right? On top of that, you got raging hormones, you're breaking out once a month if you have those symptoms. I do. You get back pain, and it's crazy. And you know what? When I was younger, I didn't experience cramps, but a lot of the older women in my life told me that usually if you don't get cramps in your earlier part of life, they will occur later in life, and they are going to be quite painful. Now, I don't know if that's like an old wives' tale or anything, but that was kind of true in my case. So not only do I get cramps like before my period, but I'll get them during, like especially on the first day of bleeding, and it's just, it feels like there's a demon child in your womb who's like scratching the walls of your uterus and like twisting it with their claws. And it's so painful, you know? So if you can make the lives of the women in your lives a little bit easier during those time of the month, you know, like those small things are so helpful. Like, I told my boyfriend how much pain I was in yesterday, so he came home with like a little goodie bag of small chocolates and juices and stuff, just to help make my time a little bit more enjoyable. And I really appreciated that, so I was super happy. There's these, oh, Must Eternal found a shiny whooper. Luna in our Discord channel also found a shiny whooper, and they are so cute. They look like the axolotls, I think that's how they're pronounced, but you know, there's also that character in Animal Crossing that looks like that too, but it's just so cute. Definitely one of the top tier looking shinies, if I must say. So yeah, I'm sorry if for you guys it grosses you out for all this period talk, but you know, let's normalize it, because 50% of the population are women, and we're gonna be bleeding. So why not normalize it? I find it so weird to have to feel shame towards something that your body does naturally, and which is kind of also a gift, you know, because it's thanks to our periods that we're able to also have children. So it's a shame when some guys are so unsupportive towards their partners when they're having their periods, and they're like, oh my god, you bled the bed again? You know, luckily for me, I've never had to deal with a partner that was like that. But I've heard some stories, you know, and it's quite crazy. Actually, this is not period related, but it just, the toilet paper use compared to women and men. Because when my boyfriend and I lived together, he was like, holy cow, how come you're going through toilet paper like so much? Are you wiping properly? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a girl, like, leave me be. And that's when I realized, like, guys use toilet paper differently than girls do, like frequency and everything too. But like with us girls, you know, when we're using the toilet, we gotta sit down. Yes, we sit down. And I feel like just because of that, things can like splash around sometimes. With the guy, it's kind of like you projectile a little bit more, so there's less things that can like get in the way and everything. Then you just gotta like wipe the tip. Actually, I hear some guys actually do not wipe after they go washroom, but a lot of health advisors will tell you that you should, because guys can also get UTIs. Did you know that? Yeah, you guys can get it too. You have a urethra tract just like we do, although ours is shorter, so we're more prone to getting UTIs, but guys can get it too. And a lot of times, if you're sexually active and you find that your female partner is getting a lot of UTIs, it could be because of you. It could be because of you. So let's see whether or not we could feed our Snorlax anything. I feel like the conversations for today's videos is a little bit more mature, so I don't know, should I put a warning on that for the video? But you know what, while we're on the topic of mature conversations, the thing I wanted to talk about, there was this the new season of 90 Day Fiancé, and there's this couple, Sophie and Rob. Sophie's from the UK, Rob's from the US, and they got into like arguments about her toilet paper use. And then all of the female casts were like, yeah, because we're women. And it's so true, because as I was saying before, when I moved out with my boyfriend for the first time, he didn't realize how much toilet paper like women really use. But then I'm like, but you had a mom and a sister. But I guess like he just didn't see it until like you're out on your own and you have to purchase your own toilet paper, you know what I mean? So yeah, he would just be in shock of how much toilet paper we gotta use and everything like that. And I know for a lot of women, it's like we're in shock at how little toilet paper you guys gotta use sometimes. And yeah, there's that. I also was watching the tell-all of another spin-off series of 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way, I think it was called. But basically, there's this couple. The girl is from the US, the guy's from South Africa. And there was just conversations about how the guy focused so much. Let me clear my throat. So the guy, I forgot his name, but he just focuses so much on how like, I'm a man, I gotta provide. And you know what? I'm not one to say how couples dynamics are. There's so many ways to have a relationship. If you're leaning more into the traditional relationship style where like the man provides and all that stuff, then like if that works out for you, then fine, right? But I feel like most partners, regardless of if you're male or female, but sadly sometimes it does tend to lean towards more of male, is that they forget that one responsibility you have as a partner is being there emotionally for your partner, you know, not just to provide for your partner. And there's this gay couple on the show, Kenny and Armando. I love them. Kenny is like 60 years old, but he lives like a 30-year-old. Like he's just full of life and so much wisdom, and he's raised children himself as well. And yeah, he's in Mexico now. But he made a really good point about like, You know, your partner, even if he's a guy, he has to support you emotionally as well. And if you can't find that, then that's when, you know, you go for your friends and family. Or, you know what, actually, when I was younger, a lot of the cheating stories I've heard had heavily centered around the fact that one partner felt that they weren't being emotionally supported enough, so they sought out that comfort in another person, and then it leads to something a bit more, you know. And I totally think that guys and girls can be friends, but I feel like the moment you feel there's an inkling of feelings involved, you need to do the right thing and kind of distance yourself from them. Because then what happens? You get into a fight with your partner. You go to your quote-unquote best friend, but they're just the best friend. And you get that emotional comfort and support that you get from them in a way that you're lacking from your partner. And that builds like the trust, the emotional bond that you guys have together. And then you start falling in love. All that to say, it is so important to build that upon your relationship with your partner, and to be with someone who's not gonna tell you like, oh, what is it this time? You're upset again? Like, you're way too emotional for me. That grinds my gear. Blows my mind, because have you ever seen a guy lose his shit over League of Legends? And then you can tell me that women are the only ones emotional. That is like so mind-blowing to me. But men are just as emotional. They just don't realize it because they're, unfortunately, they are taught to shut those feelings off. And I hate it because I feel like you are only half a human at that point, right? And you're not going to be able to navigate life's lows. So I have a younger brother. He's like 19 years old, and I really try to make it a point to remind him, like, if you need to cry, it's okay. There's like nothing girly about it. Like, being able to talk through your emotions is such a mature thing that it's so genderless. So it's such a shame when I see guys say like, oh, girls aren't going to go for the guys that cry. And it's like, but why would you want to go for the girls like that anyways, you know? Like, the same way that I wouldn't want to be with a guy that feels that way about me if I were to cry. Because when you think about the people you care so much about, like, think about your mother, or if you don't have good relationships with your parents, just think about like the most important thing to you. It could be a pet. And if you see them sad, or crying, like, that should break your heart, you know? So if you have a partner who's so broken and crying, and you're like stone cold looking at them, like, wow, do you care about them at all? You know what I mean? So yeah, in that segment when she was like just breaking down and he was just like so cold about it, like, I get maybe he's not in tune with his emotions, but like, that's your wife, my friend. Like, your wife is crying and you just don't seem to give a shit. And I get that everyone has their own shit in life, right? But sometimes in a partnership, the hard truth is that you have to be like, sometimes relationships, I know people say 50-50, you have to be like 50-50, meet them halfway, but a lot of times, like, you got to come in 100. And there are moments in your relationships where you have to be 80% when your partner's 20%, because there's just shit going on in their life. And sure, there's shit going on in yours too, but if they really need you there at that moment, like, sometimes you gotta show up a little bit more, you know, the same way that your partner would do the same for you if it were reversed. And yeah, it's just like, everyone's relationship's different, dynamics are different, the way people approach relationships are so different as well. So if you really find your person, then it's like you really find the missing puzzle piece to your life. And I say this because there's this other couple called Shekinah and Sarper, and oh my god, they are like delusional, toxic, manipulative, and they're kind of like the red pill manosphere example of like the couples where it's like, bad boy turned good, this is how you get your girl hooked on you, blah blah blah, and you know, like those very poor dating advice from like those type of dudes on the internet. And then like she's like the female version of it, where it's like, your man should lead you, blah blah blah, you gotta be like a servant to him and all that stuff. And it's like, it's crazy, but you know what, they found each other and the dynamic works for them. And to me, it's like highly toxic, especially because he's like so controlling of what she eats, how she looks. He's even designing her nose job, and she's like totally fine by it. But you know what's telling to me is the fact that she has 6 sisters. All 6 sisters and her mother have cut contact with her. And I feel like when it comes to family, they will always want the best for you. So for them to make that sort of move is very telling. But then again, we don't know, because all we're seeing is like what's shown on TV and like what wants to be shown to push a narrative, right? But yeah, I mean, it's just so crazy, the stuff that you see online, and I think it's worth a watch only to help you realize like how dynamics are, and maybe if you have certain patterns that you've never seen until you see it on the big screen, and then you realize like, hey, I kind of agree with that, but why is everyone shitting on them on that? You know what I mean? So I think it's a great jumping off point to have conversations with yourself when you're watching reality TV. But speaking of reality TV, Selling Sunset Season 8 is coming out today on Netflix. So I'm super excited to watch that and see what the girlies are up to and whether or not they sell any houses. I think this story, this season is going to uncover Chelsea's divorce, because that happened. So we will see. But I'm very excited. And I'm not going to be recording on the weekend, so just a heads up on that. For my weekend plans, though, I think we're just going to take it easy. And my boyfriend said that we should have a date because it's been a while, so I'm very excited to see what our date night is going to look like. So I'll catch you guys up on that on Monday when we see each other again. But thank you guys so much for joining me in yet another video. I'm probably going to try to add some friends on the Discord, so if you haven't yet, join us in the Discord, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. So until then, have a good weekend. I hope everything goes well for you for the Suicune research event. Hopefully better than me, because as you guys saw, I used like an insane amount of resources and it was kind of doo-doo. But I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, take care, good luck, and have fun. Bye.